Hello everyone and welcome to Wednesday. It is time. I am very excited to go to the cardiologist in just about an hour or so. But before I do, I wanted to talk briefly about how the past few days have been and the days since my ER experience. Leading up to the ER, I was in crazy pain. It got worse every day, and then there were a few days right before that it was constant all day. And then the day I went to the ER was definitely the worst. And I had talked about it on Thursday's vlog, but I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that I was worried because I didn't know what was happening, and I didn't know if I was in danger of dying or anything like that. So I think that added to the stress quite a bit. And since that day, I think I can say that even more so, just for the fact that on Thursday I felt a lot better. Still had pain, but I felt a lot better. And Friday and Saturday were like, eh. But then Sunday, and I mentioned this on the vlog, I had no pain at all. Like none, all day. And then on Monday I had some pain, especially in the evening. But then yesterday was Tuesday, and I had a little pain, but almost none. So things got way better after I went to the ER. And even though I didn't really find anything out at the hospital, I did find out that I was okay. I mean, at least from what they could tell. And I mean, the doctor told me, he said, you know, if you are having these heart issues, I mean, you are not going to die tonight, you know, essentially. So that, I guess, kind of relieved some stress, and it's relieved some pain. So going to the ER was actually one of the best things I probably could have done, just because since then I have felt so much better. But I am still having some chest pain, and obviously leading up to this for months I've had chest pains. So I am anxious to hopefully get some answers today at the cardiologist. So let's go and see what happens. Mal would have loved to have gone to the cardiologist with me, but it's a school day, so obviously she has to work. But both my parents are available, so they're going to take me over there, and I don't know, we might get some lunch or something afterwards too. Man, that looks good. That looks really, really freaking good. We don't know everything quite yet. I'm actually having an echo later today. Having an echo at 3:30. We'll probably know a little more then, but right now I feel good. I feel good about having the talk with the doctor. And I'll talk about it more later today after I've had the echo. Evening is here. I have had the echo, and it's time to talk a little bit about it. First off, I'm going to talk about my doctor's appointment itself. Cardiologist was awesome. It's been a long time since I've been to a cardiologist, but this guy in particular, it felt like he cared, which I know sometimes you don't always get that vibe from doctors. He was a really incredibly nice guy, and it really felt like he knew what he was talking about. I told him about the chest pain, how I had had the chest pain for a long time, but it had gotten frequent enough to the point it was, happening daily. And I also talked to him about Marfan's and how I had never been diagnosed with Marfan's, but some of the doctors I had talked to in the past felt that I may have it. And it really blew his mind. Like, you could tell on his face just by, when I was talking to him about that he was kind of flabbergasted why we would think that. And he started to ask us questions. And he would ask us questions about our family, about history of medical stuff. He did various tests, like he grabbed my fingers and started to push my hand back, and he said, "Can you put your fingers back further than that?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Well, that's just another thing that people with Marfan's can generally do because their ligaments or whatever are like stretchy or rubbery or whatever." So he was doing all these peculiar things, asking me these peculiar questions, but I wasn't really hitting the mark on any of them. There's been so many marks for Marfan's that I have hit that other doctors have been like, that it sounds like you might have Marfan's. And this doctor didn't really see that. I had said that I wanted to be tested, but he said that he wanted to look at a new echo, which I had done today, and he wanted to use that to make a judgment call whether he felt that it was really all that necessary to get the genetic testing done to find out if I have Marfan's. But right now, it seems like that's not really an option. It's a weird answer, and I believe him. like all this, I know it's kind of hard to explain now, but all the stuff that we talked about, and just the different questions he asked and the different, little tests and stuff he did, it kind of makes sense, everything he said. It's just kind of weird for me, though, because since 2006 or 7, which was when I had first been told that, I've kind of lived with that idea. And as I've seen doctors and they've said, yeah, I see it or whatever, it's like kind of one of those things that becomes ingrained in your head. Even though I haven't been diagnosed, you kind of live with the same thoughts as if you have that. So, you read up on the condition, and since so many things match, you put yourself in that shoes. And I could still potentially have Marfan's, but after talking with the cardiologist today, and the way he, disregarded it so quickly and easily, it's like, now I'm like, I don't think I do. It's just a really weird feeling to feel like you have something for years, and then all of a sudden you're like, I don't. Do I? I don't know. I have no idea, and I guess we'll find out more soon. But I did have the echo done. It was at a different time because they couldn't fit me in right when my appointment was. They were actually going to have to reschedule my echo for another time, and I asked if I could be fit in today, and they said yes, but I'd have to come back, so that's why I came back. I'm going to actually be returning to the doctor tomorrow, and we're going to go over the echo, and also I can talk to him, ask him a few more questions, etc. But right now, having seen me, he said that I was incredibly healthy, that things look good, everything from the outside, I guess. And he used the stethoscope, and he asked me all these questions and stuff, and it sounds like I'm in good health. It doesn't sound like I have any heart issues. Now, here's the problem, and this is kind of where it hits home for me most of all. If I go tomorrow and I talk to him and get these results, and I find out that there's nothing wrong with me, which is essentially the best news that you could get, for me, that almost might be the worst news. And I'll explain why. And this sounds very terrible, but I almost want there to be something wrong with me. And the reason is, if there's something wrong with you, you can fix it. If there's something actually wrong with my chest, either the heart or a muscle or something that we can fix, then it's fixable. If it's not, then that means very likely that every single thing has been brought on by stress. And that, I think, would just really tear me apart. Because that means that everything I am doing is killing me, essentially. It's a really weird feeling. I love my job. I absolutely love my job, but I know and have known for years how stressful it was, and it might actually be taking such an incredible toll on me that it's more or less killing me. It's a really weird thought. It's a really scary thought. And I'm still kind of crossing my fingers that there is something actually wrong. Even if it's not involved with my heart, that there's something with my chest or something. I'm still experiencing pain. And I don't know. I don't know if I'm stressed. I mean, you guys saw yesterday's video. There's a lot of stuff going on with networks right now, a lot of uncertainties. If you haven't seen that video, there will be a link at the end of this one. It's important. I think you should see it. And it's just like, maybe I'm experiencing, all this stress, and I'm worrying about the stress of my stress and the stress of my pains, and maybe it is completely all brought on by stress. But if it is, that's going to be awful. It's going to feel really, really awful. Anyway, I cannot live without YouTube. I do love what I do. So in the event that we learn more and it is stress related, I'm going to have to continue doing what I do, just cut back. Is what it's going to come down to. I was able to juggle the vlog and LPs for so long, but I just continually added more and more work with both channels essentially, but especially on the LP channel, added more and more work, and I think it might have just possibly built up to a point where it has been affecting my health. So the channels wouldn't die at all because I do love what I do, but it may not be a thing where we have a loose LP schedule for a while. It might be where we tone everything down quite a bit. either moving to easier games to do, or probably starting by putting out a little less content, slightly less. There's there's a lot of days where we release multiple videos, a lot actually, and this is semi-related to the stress thing and also a very interesting story. I actually got contacted a month or two ago by YouTube. YouTube contacted me and said that they were interested in working with me to grow the channel. This is for Steven Vlog, and that they'd like to call me and talk to me about ways that they could, I guess, advice they could give about things to change in the channel. Very cool, specific advice, and I jumped on it. It was exciting. So they called me, and this was about a month or so ago, and they talked to me and they gave me some ideas, and I actually incorporated some of the changes, and there's still some changes I want to incorporate, just haven't done it yet. And they said that they were going to do a few follow-up calls, and then I got another follow-up call probably maybe 2 weeks ago today, or maybe a little longer. And during the follow-up call, I was talking to him, and we were talking a little bit about all the content I was putting out, because he was really impressed by the monthly view counts on both channels. And he said, how many videos are you even putting out? He said, because it seems like you're putting out a lot. And I said, right now, I'm on task to put out nearly 100 videos in December between both channels. And he didn't say anything for a minute or two. And he said, how can you do that? And it hadn't really been like put in my face like that, you know. I look at the schedule for the LPs, and I think of doing the vlogs every day and stuff, but no one's ever like straight up looked at me and like, how do you do that? And I was like, I don't know. It's a lot of work, and I work a lot, and I work really hard. And he said, do you have like a team? Are you delegating the work somewhere? And I said, no, it's just me. And he was like blown away. He said, I'm really impressed. He said, but you're doing, the same amount of work and getting the same view counts of a channel that's like 3 times your size. And I was like, well, I work hard. Anyway, but it's so weird because that came back to me after I left the doctor today, because I left the doctor thinking, oh my God, this is stress. This could actually all be stress. And that conversation came back to me. Anyway, I don't want to ramble on too long, because there will be a little more to talk about tomorrow after I talk to the doctor, but I don't really know where to go from here. I'm assuming that the doctor will give me advice. I know a lot of you guys have been really worried about me, and I just really appreciate all the kind words and advice and just random things that you guys have said. Even some of the hospital horror stories from last week, whenever I had to go to the ER, and there's a lot of people that are like, yeah, ER suck, and they had their own stories, which is fun. A lot of people on Facebook, a lot of people on Twitter. You guys are just really great, and I want you to know that, and want you to know that I appreciate all of the support you guys have given us. Going forward, we'll see what happens. It's apparently evident that my heart is fine. That's what it's sounding like. We'll get the results of the echo tomorrow, but I asked the echo tech that was doing it, I said, how's it look? She goes, normal, fine. So if there is something wrong, there could still be something wrong in the chest. Someone had mentioned maybe check out if something's wrong with your lung. I don't know. There's still some places we need to look into, but even if it's not being fully caused by stress, it's probably being extremely exacerbated by stress. So we'll have to look into it, and we'll have to probably calm down our channel stuff for 2014. You guys will still get content. Steven Vlog and Steven Plays aren't going anywhere, but for health and safety reasons, I have to cut back just a little bit. Anyway, that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for the support. We're going to learn a little bit more tomorrow, and hopefully things will go well. As always, let's meet back tomorrow, shall we?
Changes are coming to YouTube networks. You might not know what a YouTube network is. YouTube networks are apparently called, and I only learned this recently because no one has ever referred to them as such, MCNs, which stands...
I'm on this big plane full of people, and everyone is screaming and yelling because the plane's going down. So I walk to the cockpit, open the door, but there's no pilot.